crime. Topping our news today at 5, the president initially announced federal agents were headed to Kansas City, Chicago, and Albuquerque.
Well, now Detroit, Cleveland, and Milwaukee have been added to the list in the coming weeks. Our Mara McDonald is live at Detroit Police Headquarters with what the chief and others have to say about this. Mara, good evening.
Hi, Kimberly. And what they are saying is this, that the federal help that is on its way to Detroit has nothing to do with protests, protesters, or anything you see going on nationally in Portland. What it does have to do with is stopping gun crime. It is a continuation of the federal city partnership called Operation Relentless Pursuit, which started with AG William Barr back in 2019. Chief James Craig and the mayor were both vocal about there not being a need for Homeland Security to deal with protesters in Detroit.
We made a decision early on that the bond between the Detroit Police Department and this community was strong enough that we could handle the protests ourselves.
But what's coming from the feds isn't what you see in Portland, where violent protests continue. Rather, it's an attempt to tamp down on the illegal gun crimes that are ramping up here.
It's no different to what we were engaged in when we stood with General Barr in 2019, December. No different. An enhancement, yes, it has nothing to do with protests.
In the last several days, we've had 3 murdered at a Coney Island, a man unloading his firearm at a Detroit gas station in broad daylight, and a 60-year-old woman gunned down in her home. The mayor says federal help in the form of more federal gun prosecutors or more ATF agents to assist in getting illegal firearms off Detroit streets would be helpful.
Let's be very, very clear about what this is and what this is not. This has nothing to do, and this is not anything to do with protesters or people protesting or federal troops coming in to Detroit. That is all baloney. This has everything to do with our continued efforts to fight violent crime, to go after gang members, to get people locked up who are pulling triggers, who are shooting people, and who are killing people in the city.
Back here live, President Trump has been roundly criticized by Democrats on Capitol Hill for the deployment of these federal agents. They question his motives. We're live at Detroit Police Headquarters. Kimberly Devin, back to you.
So, Mara, do we know what this federal help is going to look like? I know you said it's not going to look like what we've seen in Portland, but what is it going to look like?
So the U.S. Attorney here in Detroit, Matthew Schneider, who you just heard from, says he expects to do something next week, I'm assuming a press conference, to detail that. But he says it's not just manpower, it's also federal monies to help backfill overtime here at DPD and things like that. We should have a better idea of all the components of this next week. Back to you.
Okay, Mara, thanks.